The night everything broke. Daniel never imagined that a single night could erase 10 years of marriage. 10 years of love, promises, memories, even the quiet sacrifices he made while believing he and Emma were building the same future. But life has a cruel way of revealing truth, especially when truth hides behind the person you trust the most. Daniel had returned from his business trip a day early. He wanted to surprise Emma. She loved surprises, at least she used to. The last few months, she had grown distant, distracted, always holding her phone a little too close, always smiling at something he wasn't a part of anymore. He had ignored the signs, convincing himself she was stressed, tired, maybe overwhelmed. He never imagined the real reason. Driving home through the cold evening air, Daniel carried flowers in the passenger seat, white lilies, her favorite. He practiced the words he planned to say. Let's take a trip together. Just us. He thought time together would heal whatever was broken. The house was dark when he arrived, except for the soft glow coming from the bedroom window. His heart warmed. She's home. He hoped she would jump into his arms the way she used to. But things don't always go the way the heart dreams. Daniel walked quietly into the house, wanting to surprise her. But halfway up the stairs he heard something. Whispers. Not the kind lovers exchange, but the kind shared by people who shouldn't be together. His steps slowed. His heartbeat stumbled. A strange coldness spread through him. Then he heard her laugh. A soft, breathy laugh he hadn't heard in months. He pushed the bedroom door open. What he saw shattered him. Emma was in another man's arms, someone Daniel didn't know. Their bodies close, their faces inches apart. The man froze first. Emma's eyes widened so suddenly it looked like she couldn't breathe. Daniel dropped the flowers. No one spoke for a long moment. The room went completely silent except for the sound of Daniel's world collapsing inside his chest. Finally, Emma whispered, "Daniel, I can explain." "No," he said, his voice breaking. "You can't." The man stood, pulling away from her. "I should leave," he muttered, but Daniel didn't look at him. The man slipped out past Daniel like a shadow disappearing into night. Emma stood there wrapped in a blanket, trembling. Daniel's eyes burned, but not with anger. Hurt was far heavier. "How long?" he asked. Her silence was an answer. Silence always tells the truth. "Emma," he repeated, his voice cracking. "How long?" "A few months," she whispered. "I didn't mean for this to happen. People don't accidentally fall into someone else's arms," he answered. She started crying, but the sound felt like an echo, far away, almost meaningless. He lowered himself onto the edge of the bed, his body suddenly weak. He thought leaving the room would be easier, but his legs didn't listen. "You stopped talking to me," Emma said through tears. "You were. Always working, always tired. I felt invisible." Daniel laughed sharply, painfully. "So you replaced me?" "No, I felt alive again." He listened. "And I didn't?" "You didn't notice me anymore." Daniel closed his eyes. The truth stung because somewhere, buried deep inside, part of him knew he had changed too. But betrayal doesn't justify heartbreak. Even if he had failed her in some ways, there were promises, vows, that should never have been broken. "Emma, I was trying," Daniel whispered. "You could have told me you were hurting. You could have asked for help, anything." He swallowed hard. "But you chose him instead." She sat beside him, reaching for his hand, but he pulled away. The rejection made her sob harder. "Do you still love him?" Daniel asked quietly. "I don't know," she whispered. "I don't even know what I feel anymore." That answer hurt more than anything else. Daniel stood and walked to the window. Outside, the streetlights glowed softly, as if mocking the darkness inside him. "You know what the worst part is?" he asked. "I came home early tonight to fix us. I bought your favorite flowers. I wanted to save our marriage." Emma covered her mouth as tears poured down her face. He picked up the lilies from the floor. A few petals had fallen off, crushed. "Just like us," he thought. "Daniel, please," she cried. "Don't leave. We can try again. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry." He turned to her slowly, his eyes filled with pain she had never seen before. "A mistake?" he whispered. "Cheating is not a mistake. It's a choice you made again and again." "Please, I still love you," she said. He shook his head, tears finally spilling. "Then why wasn't I enough?" She didn't have an answer. Daniel walked toward the door. Every step felt heavy, like he was ripping himself away from the life he once believed in. When he reached the doorway, Emma rushed to him and wrapped her arms around him tightly. "Please don't go," she begged. "Don't give up on us." He gently removed her hands. "You gave up on us first." Her knees buckled, and she sank to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Daniel looked at her one last time, the woman he had loved more than anything, now a stranger. "Goodbye, Emma," he said softly. He walked out of the bedroom, down the stairs, and out the front door. The cold air hit him, but for the first time in months, he could breathe. As he drove away, the lilies sat beside him, wilted but still holding their shape, a reminder of love that once was, and pain that now lived where trust used to be. Daniel didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing. Sometimes the hardest thing you ever do is choosing yourself when the person you love the most stopped choosing you.